Good morning. Good morning.
Morning.
How's everyone?
Good.
Good? So, Jonathan was very kind to make sure that he reminded you, if you're going to have a speaker, that in order to show that speaker that you're interested in what they have to say, sometimes you even have to fake it, that you might want to be facing in a certain direction. So I appreciate that, young people, and I'm thrilled to be here. And the one thing that somebody asked me the other day about, I'm in my 18th month of being the superintendent of schools, and they asked me, like, there's a lot of stuff that's going on, and how do you feel about that? And the thing that I would like to say that I hope young people can relate to is, I ain't scared. I'm not scared. Because you cannot do this job and be scared. You can't be, I'm sorry, Black Power? Is that what you said? Okay, well that's one way to look at it. I can say Black Power, I can say woman power. A lot of things I can say, right? So, and I am thrilled to be here and to be a first, and to hopefully represent you well as the first here in Omaha. And understanding that I can't be a first unless there were many people who came before me, and the people who stand beside me. You do not do this job on your own. You cannot do it by yourself. So have a few things for our young people this morning, and hopefully these will be interesting to you. So I want to talk about a little bit about test scores, because sometimes we see test scores and we start pointing to a lot of other things because the data is difficult for us to look at. And so we can't run from this data. And it doesn't mean that there aren't a lot of other wonderful things that our young people are doing. This is one snapshot that we have to confront. And we have an opportunity, young people, to make this better. So you can see there some growth that's happened in many of our North Omaha schools. And our growth exceeds the state's growth. And that's good to exceed growth, but we still need to get to that proficient mark. Because, as I said last year, and last year you may remember, it was 4 degrees. I don't know who remembers, but it was 4 degrees and it had snowed overnight. I remember that well. So for it to be 60 degrees is a wonderful thing. So this is great. We have some work that we continue to need to do. You also can see on the right-hand side where there is this where it says free and reduced lunch, that we, poverty is a difference maker. And we also have to be able to confront that as well. I neglected to, I remember when I got up here, there were 2 people that I wanted to make sure I introduced, and those are our Board of Education members who are here. I know that Mr. Smith is around and Ms. Knight are here, and I appreciate their love and support as we work through some of the challenges that we have. But this slide shows some good news in terms of some growth, and we're excited about it. In middle school, again, you can see some growth at both of our schools, McMillan and Monroe, but we still want to make sure that we get to what the expectations are for us as a school district. You can see that there. State actually went backwards. McMillan went up, and Monroe was was steady. And again, in the ACT, we also, looking at our Central and North high schools, we can see some room for growth, correct? Now, young people, how many of you practice ACT on your own? Do the ACT on your own without anybody telling you? There's one hand. Anyone else? There's one person here, but his buddies are challenging him. That's okay. That's all right. He wants to represent himself well. It's okay. Okay. All right. It's not that deep. Young people, it's not that deep. But one thing I want you to know is that the folks who are doing well are doing some of that practice on their own. And there isn't anything preventing you from doing that. this is a room full of high school graduates at the very minimum. And it's full of folks who will go on to college, either 2-year or 4-year, and do extremely well. What we also need to do is to bring our classmates along. So when I came to the district, things that needed to happen for the Omaha Public Schools, the first one is an intense focus on reading. I'm here to tell you that it's been 17 years, 17, since new reading materials were purchased for this school district. 17. So we are in the middle of adoption right now, and we are purchasing them in the spring. Well, actually, we will bring something to the board in January for purchase. Because what does that show about our priorities? You spend your money around your priorities, correct? All right, so remember that the kids that we bought those books for, I remember when I came to the district, the first thing I said was, wow, I bought those for my students when I was an elementary principal in 2004. So, see, that's it. Pretty straightforward. Where you spend your money shows that. Another area of opportunity we've had for us in terms of our strategic plan of action is in order to improve graduation rates, you cannot wait until young people are seniors. It starts in kindergarten, but another critical point is when students transition from 8th grade to 9th grade. And what we know are two things. One, it's important for students to be able to go to the school of their choice. And number two, it's important that that 9th grade year be tight and bright. But by that I mean, one, that we connect our young people with their high school. So what does the connectedness mean? How many of you are participating in at least one extracurricular? Raise your hands. And at least one. You're in sport, or you're in the band. Okay, all right, that's important. If you are not connected, that is an area of weakness that we need to address as an empowerment network, because that is critical for your success. Students who are connected do much better in high school than students who don't. The second and third and fourth are your attendance, your behavior, and whether or not you are finishing 9th grade one time, earning all the credits that you need to do. If you look at the 9th grade retention rates, it's almost identical to the graduation rate. We have one school that's an exception, and we kind of know why there's an exception there. That is so critical for us. So the sauce, this is not magic. The University of Chicago figured this out about 17 years ago. That's the secret sauce. And I'm happy to say that North High School and Central High Schools who have not participated in the Freshman Success Framework are going to participate in that in the summer. Our other 4 high schools have done that and have seen already some gains with their 9th grade completion rate. Very excited about that. And one other thing that we know that we need to attend to is how young people enter school and feel connected to their extracurricular, but also our ethic of care for our young people. Do you feel cared for? Do people have high expectations for you? Do they hold you to those expectations? So I was a teacher for a long time, and one thing that I do not abide is rudeness. I just don't. I don't need you to clap for me. I don't need you to clown. I need you to represent yourselves well, because you know how. And so I have super high expectations for you, and I don't really take no for an answer. And what I need you to know is if you email me with a question or a concern about something that's happening for you or not happening for you, you should expect a response very quickly. And I know that there's a few people in here who did. I was at Central High School the other day with their Black Student Union, and I had several of those young people there email me and talk about that. But the thing that I want to leave you with is, As much as we do for you, and we are required, you deserve it, and it is your civil right to have all the things that you need and some of the things that you want while you are in high school. You also have a responsibility to do your part. I will jump over this building for you. But if I jump over the building for you to get you what you need, to work with the legislature, to get out there and fight, and I'm new here. And I spend a lot of time talking to those to folks about making sure that you have what you need, even if it isn't popular. And holding people accountable for how they treat you, even if it isn't possible. I can do all of that, but I need for you to do your part as well. You all have great families. You have a wonderful village of people around you who will do this more than I'm willing to do because they know and love you very well. But you have to do your part because doing your part is the thing that is going to be the difference maker between you doing so-so, just graduating, and you being extraordinary. And you are extraordinary. I think each of you are beautiful for one, but you also are extraordinary. You have gifts, talents, imagination that the city of Omaha needs, that your families need, and that your schools need to make them the places that they can be. And so if I leave you with anything, I want it to be around your choices that you make, the people that are here to support you, ones who will go to school here. I know you have a principal who will jump over the building for you. Even at his age, Mr. Haynes will jump over this building for you to make sure you have what you need. You have to do your part. And then you doing your part helps us do 100% of our part. I'm committed to staying here and to being a part of the solution for the Omaha Public Schools and for fighting the good fight because you not only need it, you deserve it, and you're super, super, super worthy. And with that, I'll take some questions. Ready for questions? Who has a question? Yes. Oh, it's Councilman Gray. Yes, sir.
Dr. Logan, just first of all, I guess I'm a little disappointed that it's been 17 years since we've changed, since we've even looked at changing our books. Because if that's what that means, then I was among the last ones to work on changing. My question is this, though. Do we have citizens in the community who are part of the group who are looking at some of these books, especially the history books?
Excellent. So we are currently, excellent question, Councilman. So we are looking at two different, this is for our kindergarten through our fifth, actually it's pre-K through our fifth grade. And one of the things that we did was, we're piloting two, but we brought together our director of equity and diversity, put together a group to give feedback on both of this series. And additionally, at the next DCAC meeting, which is December the 10th, at the TAC building, parents will have an opportunity to, we've had some open opportunities for parents to come in, but I wanted to have another opportunity for them to dive into it more, to see how they can interface with the resources in terms of, because a lot of them have a digital platform as well, to see how parents will interface with that, and that is December the 10th. The parents will have an opportunity to do that and to give feedback on that other issue as well. Great question. High five, brother. Sorry. All right. Thank you. Excellent question. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Great question. So the question was around having election day off. So our social studies department will continue to do a voter registration with our students who are eligible to vote on that day. We have a curriculum, as a matter of fact, the social studies standards the new social studies standards were just passed. We have our state board of education representative, Deb Neary, is here today. And there is a civics portion that will coincide with leading up to the election. We decided to have that day off. So I'll tell you, I'm from Maryland. I'm a lifelong Marylander, and I lived in Philly 5 years. So the kids did not go to school on that day. Philadelphia, it was just the kids that didn't go. In Maryland, nobody went because of the polling places and security for those days. So when we started looking at it, there are 15,000, actually almost 16,000 young people who are in schools where there are polling places. And with the large numbers of young people that we have, buses and all that, it was really difficult for us to have a presidential election. And I will tell you, moving forward, I'm concerned as this one comes forward. I don't know what it's going to be like, but I'm smart enough to be proactive and make a recommendation to the board that we do what we can to make sure that our polling places are safe, and that more importantly, our students are safe within our schools. Thank you for the question.
Could you explain GCAC, please?
GCAC is our district, thank you very much, I appreciate that. That is our district council of parents. Each school has a representative who attends those meetings. They're held, I think it's every other month. The next one's December 10th. We just had one in October. And it's an opportunity, a platform for parents to come together to give feedback to the district. Thank you for the question and for holding me accountable for not assuming that everybody knows what it is. I appreciate that. Other questions? Yes, ma'am.
Say, if you have this opportunity for someone to say that, you should do it because you can definitely graduate beyond high.
Sure. It's actually, I get a lot of intel from the kids. Oh, yes, I do. They tell me about some stuff going on. Yes, I do. Young people tell me quite a bit, and I appreciate it. Questions? Sorry. Any questions? I got one more. Okay, one more.
You happen to know what the status is on the start of the
Last one. Change.
Do you know about the closing of the photography in the Career Center?
Yes, I do. Photography can continue in schools in terms of it being offered at your local school site. What we're not going to do is to have you use your time, your instructional time during the day to come to a photography program that can be offered in your local school site. Photography should be part of an art curriculum, and all schools can offer it in their schools. One of the things that is our job is to make sure that anything that we're doing can lead to helping you have a life-sustaining wage, and learning how to develop film is not going to do it. It's not, because we're not developing film anymore. It's an art form from years past, but in terms of you being able to do that, what we want to be able to do is to have you appreciate images, because photography is about the images that are created, and the art that is created as a result of those images. The method that those images are created is not as important as the actual images. If somebody wins a prize for a photograph, it's because the image is fantastic. It doesn't matter whether it's a digital image or a legacy 35 millimeter film image. So that's how we did that. And we'll continue to do that for programs or things that are not going to have you travel. We want to be able to use the Career Center as we currently have it constructed for things that will lead to life-sustaining wages and that are related to the industries that are needed here in the city of Oklahoma. It's not that we don't appreciate photography, we just appreciate photography that's part of it. Any other questions?
If it's not community,
Yes, sir.
it's not going to be successful. It's got to be community.
aside from what you just mentioned, is there any other goals for the district that you want to get out there?
So your question about other goals that I have for the district? I think a big one that I have is that no matter where you go to school, that you have a consistent experience. One thing that I hear from parents, and I have seen myself, is that if you go to one school, you might have one experience, and if you go to another school, you might have another experience. And it shouldn't matter where you go, whether it's in North Omaha or South or Central or West. We should be able to guarantee you a quality experience. And another thing that we have instituted to help us move in that direction is what we call secret shopper. Does anybody know what secret shopper is? Secret shopper? The adults know. So secret shopper for the young people is you have somebody go to 3 different places with the same issue and see how they are treated. So that happened when I visited a school myself. I ended up being the secret shopper. I went to a school, it was right prior to school starting, and I couldn't get in. I went to the front door, the door was locked. I did not have my little pass key on, and I saw the custodian, and he let me in the side door. I went in the side door, and I've shared this story with our principal, so it's not a secret. I went in the side door, went around, and I thought, okay, well, the principal can't possibly be here. There's nobody here. And I went there, the principal was sitting in her office. I'm at the door trying to get in. And was talking to a teacher who was doing her job. And what I said to that individual, and I've never to this day said who that person is, was, if I'm coming to your school 3 days before school starts to enroll, I probably have some chaos going on in my life, and I need to be sure that I can get in your school to enroll. And so the person said, well, the secretary's not here. I'm like, and so because I was a principal 13 years, I'm like, I'm here. And somebody needs to be able to open the door to make sure that that parent can get in and enroll their child. And so that's what I mean by secret shopping. Because I went to another school and they rolled out the red carpet. You know, neither one knew I was coming because I do not announce my visits unless it's for a special occasion. I just show up. And so those are the kinds of things that shouldn't happen for parents. Parents should come to the school. They should be greeted. They should be treated as a child of God. We work for them. That's who we work for. They don't work for us. And so getting that paradigm straight, and it's a big lift. I'm going to tell you, it's going to take many years and a lot of being very clear about what the expectations are. But I'm here to do it. And as I'm going to end with what I said, I ain't scared. It's all right. Okay? Have a good rest of your day. I do have a TEDx event next, so I won't be staying around long, but I'll be around for a little bit. I appreciate you so much. And the job is hard, and it is worth it every day. There's not one day that I wake up and I'm sad about coming here, or I'm concerned about the ability of all of us, if we're working together and we're growing in the same direction, that we can do this job together. So thank you so much and have a good day.
Thank you, Dr. Logan. We really appreciate you being here this morning. We know you have a busy schedule, so and have a good birthday. Great birthday. Let's give it up again for Dr. Cheryl Logan, our superintendent.